Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, I'm Deborah and you're watching Ask Deborah. So today I wanted to talk to you about school admissions. It's that time of year where, like myself, a lot of you will be deciding which schools to send your children. As some of you might already know, I've done this once before, having sent my son to nursery, primary, secondary school, and he's recently just transitioned to college. Now, under usual circumstances, it's such a hard decision to make. The selection process can be really stressful. I can only imagine the stresses that first-time parents will be going through right now, and having been through this once before, I thought that I'd give you some tips to try and make the selection process that much less stressful. It's important to remember that the admissions criteria is selected by the local authority or the school. Although this may differ from school to school or borough to borough, a lot of the times they tend to be somewhat similar. The school admissions criteria will have a priority checklist in how they decide which child gets a place and which child unfortunately doesn't. These include things like being in close proximity to the school, so where you live, having a sibling that already attends the school, being a child that's looked after by the local authority, a child with an EHCP, whether or not you're going to a faith-based school, and whether the school requires exam entry. Under normal circumstances, I would always suggest that you visit the school. Having worked in various schools for over 10 years, you realise that whilst schools are similar, they also have major differences. A school visit will provide you with a feel of the environment, including how the students treat one another, whether they're polite to each other, and whether they're polite to their teachers. You'll also get a feel of the atmosphere. Is there a no noise policy, or are children chattering in the hallway as they move from class to class? Silence might be a practice of one school, whereas general chatter might be the practice of another. So it really depends on the actual school and their ethos. You also want to be able to check whether the school is well maintained. Are the facilities looked after? Or is there graffiti all around the walls? Now, I know that schools are not open at the moment and school visits are not going to be an option, but a lot of schools are offering virtual open days. Have a look at your prospective schools and see if this is an option. Perhaps try calling into the school and booking a telephone call with the head teacher or a senior member of staff. Where your child has special educational needs, you want to speak to the SENCO or one of the learning support assistants to get a feel of the type of support that's offered within the school. Look at things like the school's behaviour and bullying policy, which should be readily available on the school's website. Get yourself a good sense of the school's culture and where you're potentially sending your child to. Check the Ofsted reports. Ofsted reports are readily available online, and this will provide you with a snapshot of the school's performance at the time in which the report was carried out. It's important to remember, however, that when you're under investigation, it's really easy to get your house in order, so don't necessarily be fooled by outstanding and good reports or put off by poor and unsatisfactory. Have a look at how the school is performing at this very moment. Consider the location of the school. If your child is going to travel to school independently, or you're having to bring your child to school before you're attending work, how easy is it to walk to and from? Are there things like breakfast and after school clubs available? What times do these start and finish? Things like extracurricular activities. Are there sports available outside of PE? Will there be music lessons available for your child? Remember to pick more than one school. Very often we may have our mind set out on a particular school that we want our children to attend. However, if that school is very popular, then the chances are it will be highly subscribed and your child may not get a place and subsequently be forced to a school where you have no desire for them to attend. You should have the option to pick 6 schools, and hopefully your child will get one of those places. Match the school with your child. It's so easy to be sucked into the idea that one school's a better performing school than the other, having achieved 100% in their GCSE grades. However, it's important to consider how many children are actually entered into exams. Here's some quick maths. If you have 100 students in year 11 and only 10 are entered into exams, and those 10 receive A to C grades, then that's a 100% pass rate. But what happened to the other 90 students? Make sure you choose a school where you believe your child will thrive. If a school has a no contact policy and a no talking policy, and you have a child that tends to be quite fidgety or chatty, or one that has additional needs, then you might not want to consider sending your child to that particular school. Finally, trust your instinct. Nobody knows your child better than you do, and it's such a hard decision to make. Involve your partner where possible or your child within the selection process. Ask them where they feel they'd like to go. Of course, at the end of the day, the decision is going to be yours as the parent, particularly if you're looking at a primary school, and you'll always make the right decision for your child. Alright guys, I hope that was somewhat helpful. I know it's such a stressful time, but believe me, you will get through it. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe, share, like, leave a comment, and of course, hit the bell button for more alerts. Until the next video guys, best of luck with your decision.